business.
Jay, get on headset.
Our top stories for the day include Supreme Court hearing for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson and a warehouse fire. How do I want to start my hands? I think I'm just going to do this right now.
Start with them up in the air and then slowly bring them down.
And then go like. Are you going to get cute? Yeah.
Yes. Hey, not everybody's in the... Oh.
Yeah, where's Corey?
Let me go grab everybody.
Yeah, just tell everyone. Corey's not in here. For sure. Holly's not in here.
Hannah's not in here. Did they not? What time is it?
4:06.
Oh,
Viewers are rated.
Four.
We have a show to do, people. Holly?
Holly. Oh, Hannah's here.
Holly.
Where's Holly?
Wait, Hannah, I would stay here. We need
Don't
to
go
keep.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Everyone just
don't
stay in the
stop.
room.
Just don't leave. We gotta.
All right, let's make some news.
Where's Holly?
Where's? Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Tanner Dykstra.
And I'm Haley Ryerson. Our top stories of the day include the Supreme Court hearing for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson and a warehouse fire that started Thursday morning on O Street in Lincoln, and the Nebraska U.S. Representative Jeff Fortenberry found guilty on all 3 counts.
We'll also hear from more of our reporters about more campus and local news.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the University of Nebraska College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Thanks for joining us on Nebraska Nightly.
Our top story of the day was Nebraska U.S. Representative Jeff Fortenberry was convicted yesterday on 1 count of concealing conduit campaign contributions and 2 counts of lying to federal agents.
Following Fortenberry's conviction, Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts and U.S. House of Representatives Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy both called for Fortenberry's resignation from the House on Friday morning.
The 9-term Republican congressman now faces up to 5 years of prison for each of the 3 counts. Fortenberry's sentencing is scheduled for June 28th.
In other national news, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation hearings in the Senate concluded yesterday.
The 4 days of hearings were full of tough questioning from the GOP senators and hopeful messaging from the Democrats. Judge Jackson's confirmation to the Supreme Court now depends on a Senate vote.
That final vote happens, and you ascend onto the highest court in the land. I'm going to rejoice.
Are you comfortable with these ideas being taught to children as young as 4 and in respect to the first book?
Senator, I have not reviewed any of those books, any of those ideas. They don't come up in my work as a judge.
Judge Jackson needs 50 votes in the evenly divided Senate, which is likely with Vice President Kamala Harris as the tie-breaking vote. Judge Jackson will likely have to wait for up to 2 weeks for the Senate confirmation.
In Lincoln news, Lincoln Fire and Rescue responded to a fire at Carroll Construction Supply late last night. The building is located on West O Street and no injuries were reported.
In the past week, COVID-19 numbers have continued to drop throughout Lancaster County. Nebraska Nightly reporter Hannah Rebke has your COVID-19 update.
March 20th marked 2 years since the first COVID case was reported in Lancaster County. Lincoln Mayor Larian Gaylord Baird compared the journey to a marathon, and she believes that the community is nearing the end of the journey. Daily COVID cases have dropped to single digits, and there has not been a COVID death since March 10th, lowering the COVID risk dial from low orange to green. This is the first time the dial has been in the green since July of 2021, while the situation remains uncertain, and we know from prior experience how quickly the situation can change, health officials will continue to monitor case counts overseas and the spread of new variants that may emerge. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. In campus news, reporter Corey McCowan has our Women's History Month spotlight. She spoke to a freshman mechanical engineering student who has received a fellowship for young aerospace engineers.
Patty Gray Smith was a notable professional in aerospace engineering for the work she did in the field. Today, African American students nationwide have an opportunity to make the same impact through the Patty Gray Smith Fellowship.
All of the things that she accomplished, what she did, it was really aspirational, and I really want to do that kind of stuff.
UNL freshman Alexis Horton is one of 39 future aerospace engineers chosen for the fellowship. Her interest in engineering goes back to the 4th grade. She sees Smith as the role model she wants to be.
So I want to be a role model to show other kids, hey, if you are interested in this, you can do it. You don't have to go into a different field because there aren't people that look like you.
The fellowship will send Horton to Utah to work for Northrop Grumman, a leading company in aerospace engineering.
Having an opportunity like this to put on my resume and to get more experience in the field, that is just a step ahead, so I can get further through my career.
Alexis Horton has picked the perfect role model. Patty Gray Smith fought school segregation as a teenager in what became the Macon County Board of Education case. From there, she went on to a legendary career. For Nebraska Nightly, I'm Corey McCowan.
Thank you, Corey. It's exciting hearing about women in STEM doing great work.
As we enter spring, we can appreciate the nice weather, but we also must prepare for more severe storms. Student meteorologist Jessica Blum has more on Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Thanks, Tanner and Haley. It is Severe Weather Awareness Week, so as a feature for you guys, I'm going to bring to you the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A tornado watch is when the ingredients for not even just one tornado, but multiple tornadoes are threatening the area. And a tornado watch usually covers multiple counties, if not half a state, even up to. So in a tornado watch, it's usually a longer duration of time, and the National Weather Service has deemed that enough ingredients are ready. But if we transition to a tornado warning, you can see that the colors get darker and the situation gets a little gloomier. Because as a tornado warning is happening, it actually means that a trained spotter on the ground has either seen a tornado or conditions on radar seem likely that a tornado is on the ground. So that has been the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. Keep those notifications on your phone as we enter into Severe Weather Week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. Now look on the storms for next week, especially as we approach that 80-degree weather. Carmela Latuca has your 7-day forecast after the break.
Is anybody down to go to a first gen event today? So what do you think?
Looks great. Let's go. Welcome to First Generation Nebraska.
In typical Nebraska fashion, the weather has been a bit unpredictable as we enter spring. Student meteorologist Carmelo Latuca has the 7-day forecast.
Good afternoon, Lincoln. It certainly has been a wild week of weather as we've both seen multiple days of both rain and snow. The snow, when it did fall, it didn't accumulate much in our area, but it was still a pretty rare sight to see as we didn't see much wintry precipitation this entire season. But nevertheless, we're seeing it in the month of March now. But as we take a look at current conditions, it is 56 degrees out there right now, but that strong northwest wind at 20 to 25 miles per hour is making it seem a little bit colder. The wind chills are probably in the mid to upper 40s, and we could thank that northwest wind to a cold front that moved in overnight. As we take a look at the surface weather map, you can see that that cold front moved in and it is now into the southern plains. And as we go coast to coast, we can see that a low pressure system is off the coast of Maine right now, and that was responsible for some severe weather we saw off into the south, where we saw multiple reports of damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes, one of which in fact went through the downtown New Orleans area. But as we take a look back into our area, we can see that conditions are calm except for the little bit of windier conditions. But right now, high pressure is going to build in, and our next storm system is off the Pacific Northwest coast right now, but we'll get to the little bit in that in the 7-day forecast. As we take a look towards tonight, we can see that conditions, mostly clear skies, a low of 38, but what's really here to note is that the winds are going to die down from earlier today, and it's not going to be too windy out there tonight. As we head towards our Saturday, we can see that we'll have a high of 51. Winds are going to remain light, but they're still going to be out of the north-northeast, so it's going to be a little bit chilly out there tomorrow. As we head towards Saturday night, we can see it's going to be mostly a carbon copy of what we're going to see out there tonight. Low of 36, still remaining with some light winds. As we head towards our Sunday, we can see that we're going to have a high of 54, but what's here to note is that the winds are going to shift out of the southeast, and this is going to be the prelude to the warmer weather we're going to see next week. We're not going to see it quite yet on Sunday with a high of 54, but we're going to see that in the 7-day. And as we head towards the 7-day, you can see that Monday, we're looking at a high of 67. We could be flirting with near 70. And as we head towards Tuesday, what's really important is we could be reaching possibly 80 degrees on Tuesday. That's some warm weather. But as I mentioned, that Pacific Northwest storm system is going to move in, and we're going to see possible rain next week. We will struggle to even hit 50 degrees next Wednesday. As we head towards the end of next week, temperatures will rebound into the mid-50s, and it looks to be calm and beautiful next weekend. That's been your full 7-day forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Carmelo. Spring is underway, which means it's the perfect time to bring out the gloves and planting tools. Hallie Gutzweiler has more from UNL's Horticulture Club on what to grow this spring season.
Thanks, Tanner. Sarah Wolf, president of the Horticulture Club on East Campus, shares with us some tips and tricks for what you can grow this spring, and an inside look on what plants they have in store for their spring bedding sale. While the early months of spring are known to be cooler in Nebraska, Wolf says that there are many plants that can thrive in these conditions.
Cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and kale and lettuces, those do really well in the spring since they like cooler temperatures. Pansies are also a really great spring crop as well.
If you're wanting to grow warm season plants like tomatoes, squash, or marigolds, Wolf recommends seeding them indoors first.
Keep it inside in a little tray or a pot, and then transplant it outside into a garden or into a little pot. Don't plant anything outside until the ground temperature is about 55 degrees, and you can find that temperature, that gauge online.
One of the most important rules of thumb for first-time planters is patience.
If they're not growing right away, it's okay. They're just taking their time. Definitely follow if you're planting from seed and from a packet that you would get at a store, it shows you what the germination date is, so it'll show you how long it should take.
The Horticulture Club is hard at work growing all kinds of annuals, vegetables, and herbs for their spring sale.
We have some dahlias here that are starting to bloom already, so we're very excited for the spring sale. We have lots of things planted already.
Sales will take place the last week of April, and all proceeds will go back towards the organization. For more information, visit agronomy.unl.edu. This has been Hallie Gutzweiler, Nebraska Nightly.
Thanks, Hallie. As the governor's race is heating up, Holly Fisher has more on the first debate for the Republican primaries.
The race for Nebraska's governor advanced last night with the first Republican gubernatorial debate of the Nebraska GOP primary season. 4 Republican candidates of the 9 candidates lined up on a debate stage as moderator Dennis Kellogg of Nebraska Public Media asked them questions about issues affecting the state. Falls City businessman Charles W. Herbster, State Senator Brett Lindstrom, Omaha Information Technology Manager Breland Ridenour, and former Omaha Senator Teresa Thibodeau talked about the pandemic, how to handle threats to Nebraska farmers, and prison reform. The questions were delivered by 3 professional Nebraska journalists for the hour-long debate. The pandemic was at the forefront of the debate, with most candidates praising Ricketts' leadership during the last 2 years, but talking about what they would have done differently as governor. Each candidate said that the shutting down of churches, businesses, and schools was unconstitutional. Herbster praised the actions of his friend and governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, in placing no mandates in his state, and assured viewers that he would have done the same as governor. Additionally, each candidate proposed solutions for the various threats Nebraskan farmers are currently facing. Ridenour and Thibodeau listed farming corporations as one of the largest threats to local farmers. Ridenour said Nebraska needs to reinvest in its local farmers and, with his IT background, secure broadband internet for rural farmers, while Thibodeau said inflation needs to be controlled so that farmers are not burdened by taxes. Herbster, a former national chairman of the Agriculture and Rural Advisory Committee for Donald J. Trump, said foreign adversaries like China pose the greatest threat to farmers. Lindstrom said current property taxes pose a great burden on small farmers. Lindstrom then proposed an education plan that would have a tax cut of $548 million and lift some of that burden. A question asked about candidates' stance on proposals to build a new prison to fix the state's prison overcrowding issues also sparked a variety of answers. Lindstrom and Ridenour had some hesitations about building a new prison. Lindstrom noted his concerns of the cost of a new prison as being too high to be a feasible solution, while Ridenour said he wants to get to the root cause of the issue and implement training for nonviolent offenders to re-enter the workforce. Meanwhile, Herbster and Thibodeau said a new facility would help solve the problem of overcrowding in Nebraska prisons. Thibodeau said that the cost of renovations for the current prison is too high, and a new facility would be the proper solution. Similarly, Herbster said the prison should be moved to a more optimal location, and mental health awareness for inmates would be one of his top priorities for prison reform. The debate allowed most of the major candidates to present their stances to viewers. However, candidate and Columbus livestock producer Jim Pillen chose not to attend the debate. Pillen listed an internal scheduling conflict as the reason for his absence, but has since signaled that he won't attend any future debates. This is the first debate before the Nebraska primary election on May 10th. The next debate has not yet been scheduled, but there are usually 3 or 4 debates before the primary election. The candidates encouraged everyone to vote in the primary election and to continue to stay informed about them and their campaigns as the process to find the new governor advances.
Thanks, Holly. As COVID cases continue to decrease, annual events are being put back on the calendar. One local event is Huskerthon. Jill Lampkins has more on the return of this celebration.
Well, a dance marathon organization has been around the University of Nebraska-Lincoln since 2004. For the first time since the beginning of COVID, the celebratory event, Huskerthon, is back. Huskerthon, the event that closes out the dance marathon fundraising season with the final push for donations and a chance to celebrate with the kids.
Dance Marathon is the largest student-run nonprofit organization here on campus. We are the largest student-registered organization, and we actually raise funds and awareness for Children's Hospital and Medical Center in Omaha, Nebraska.
This year, the organization invited 31 miracle families who have all been treated at the Children's Hospital in some capacity.
Pediatric cancer and illness has a really, really tough impact on so many families, and so making even the smallest difference for those families is really special.
I actually have a cousin that was treated at Children's Hospital. He had 3 open heart surgeries and will most likely need more, but I have seen firsthand the miracles that Children's Hospital has performed for a lot of these kids, and so this is just one of the many ways that I like to give back.
The event runs for a half a marathon at 13.1 hours and is filled with activities for the children to enjoy.
It gives these kids a chance to come to an event and forget that they're sick or forget that they're fighting some form of cancer or illness, and it allows them to hang out with a bunch of college kids who just want them to be happy.
While there is much more than just dancing at Huskerthon, McMurtry says one of the organization's slogans is that they dance for the kids who can't.
Seeing those kids' faces light up is just one of the most rewarding things that you could ever feel in your entire life.
At the end of the event, the UNL Dance Marathon organization raised a little over $230,000. This amount will go towards funding a new operating room at Children's Hospital and Medical Center in Omaha.
Thanks, Jill. It sounded like a great night for a good cause. We'll be back after the break.
Girls Code Lincoln is a really important part of my life, and I feel like I've created such a good relationship with the people in the group. It's really just such a strong community of girls who inspire each other to do better. It's just a place where I can come, be myself, and learn more about not only technology, but also making new relationships with people here.
And welcome back to Nebraska Nightly.
Now let's throw it over to Marco Yerkovic for the latest in Husker and Nebraska area sports.
Thanks, guys. First up tonight, let's start with Nebraska Football Pro Day, where 10 former Huskers competed with the hopes of attracting attention from NFL scouts and teams. Pro Days are the final event for players to get exposure for the NFL Draft. 4 of these participants also were in Indianapolis last month for the NFL Combine. Center Cam Jurgens, linebacker JoJo Doman, tight end Austin Allen, and defensive back Cam Taylor-Britt. Scouts from 28 teams were in attendance to watch the athletes test. Some notable results including Samari Toure clocking in a 4.43 40-yard dash time, while Jurgens recorded a 9-foot 11-inch broad jump, which would have been marked the second best at the Combine for offensive linemen. He and others are currently projected to be mid-round selections. The NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 28th, and will run for 3 days. In other Husker football news, sophomore Xavier Betts is no longer on the team. Head coach Scott Frost struggled to elaborate beyond that.
Yeah, Xavier's not a member of the team right now. Why is that? He's just not a member of the team right now. You anticipate him? It doesn't matter right now. He's not a member of the team. Is there a reason? He's not a member of the team. That's all I'm going to say.
Betts, a Bellevue West graduate, played all 12 games last season, tallying 20 catches and 286 yards. He's scheduled to meet with the coaching staff today to discuss the situation. Now to some March Madness, as the Nebraska women's basketball team made it to the Big Dance as an 8 seed, where they played the Gonzaga Bulldogs in the first round in Louisville. Early in the action, Izzy Bourne spins, kicks Jazz Shelley from way downtown for the 3. Then, after the Huskers hadn't made a field goal in 3 minutes, Sam Hybe buries the tray. Now Shelley, top of the key, driving inside, corner kick Kendall Moriarty for the triple. She stepped up huge in the absence of Ashley Scoggin. Now to the second quarter, Huskers down 5. Shelley launching from deep. She finished with 11 points and 4 assists on the night. Now to the third quarter, Nebraska now down 9. Allison Widener steal coast to coast, but she can't finish. Sam Hybe there for the putback. Now 9 minutes left, Huskers still down 9. Widener snakes inside, flips it off the glass and in, but their efforts fell short as they lost to the Zags 68-55. Huskers struggled all night shooting, only 30% from the field. Foul trouble from Markowski and Shelley also hindered the Huskers, as the program's 15th trip to the Big Dance collapsed in the first round. Now, while the Huskers fell out of the tournament, 2 of Nebraska's biggest rivals advanced to the second round, where they squared off. 10th seed Creighton and 2nd seed Iowa battled for a spot in the Sweet 16. We pick up the action in the final quarter, Creighton up 4. Off the Blue Jays' miss, All-American Caitlin Clark with the long rebound in transition. Gabby Marshall hits the triple for the Hawkeyes, a big basket. Now late in the fourth, Hawkeyes up 2. Lauren Jensen gets open and nails the deep 3 to give the Blue Jays the lead. Let's take another look at it as she hit the shot of her life. Teammates loving it, but it's not over yet, After some free throws, Creighton up by 2. Last chance for Iowa, but they can't get anything to go at the buzzer. Creighton pulls off the upset and advances to face Iowa State in the Sweet 16 tonight. Now to the Diamond, as baseball season is in full swing. After having their Wednesday contest against South Dakota State canceled due to weather, the Big Ten favorite Huskers are back for their conference home opener. Nebraska hosts Michigan this weekend for a 3-game series at Haymarket Park as they try to get back to 500. The Wolverines are led by projected top prospect Clark Elliott. Nebraska enters the series with an 8-11 overall record. Game 1 begins tonight at 7:30 at Haymarket Park. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Marco. How about Creighton beating Iowa in a sold-out Iowa City crowd?
Very, very exciting stuff. I'm excited for all the games this weekend. We'll see you after the break.
There's so many different choices that we're faced with as an undergrad, especially a first-generation undergraduate student.
McNair means to me opportunities and scientific discovery within a community that I wouldn't necessarily have the access to or the opportunity to be a part of.
I definitely do feel that the McNair program has helped me a ton in preparing for graduate school.
The most important thing that I learned from working with Dr. Harris and from managing my own research project within the McNair program is the idea of having a support system that can be with you in and out of the classroom as well.
To me, McNair is all about community and helping you, again, as an individual, achieving your goals.
I remember when I was a freshman, I definitely didn't have the confidence to really get into graduate school or do research, but it's definitely possible for anyone who wants to join.
McNair is one of, I would say, probably the most impactful part of my college experience because it aids specifically in my intellectual development with a bunch of other young scientific learners. I can look at McNair and say that this is the reason why I want to pursue what I want to pursue and have the confidence to pursue it as well.
And welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. For our final story of the night is an exciting one here at the College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Dean Sherry Vale announced that the college received the single largest gift in the school's history with $4.65 million in funding from Martin and Doris Deep, a longtime Nebraska couple who raised their 2 daughters on their family farm near Hebron. Their daughter Beverly attended the university majoring in journalism and political science. She became the first female war correspondent in Vietnam and later taught journalism and mass communications in Hawaii. Their daughter Joan attended business school, worked at an insurance company, and later for a Wall Street law firm before accepting an assignment with the U.S. State Department in Vienna.
The funds will support 2 open rank facility positions for DEP reporting. The Deep Family Chairs will also oversee funding for students to join the professional journalism organizations and attend conferences. Dean Vale talked to what this gift means for students.
It's huge, huge. Because the funding provides support for faculty hires, we're able to bring on superstar faculty from out in the field right now. So we are recruiting nationally. We are looking at big news outlets in order to recruit directly from the industry, also open to academics from across the nation. So it really gives us the opportunity to demonstrate that we are investing in journalism, that journalism will remain a central focus for the College of Journalism and Mass Communications at Nebraska. And we're actually providing the support for the students to gain additional opportunities in working with those in the industry now through their memberships, as well as the opportunity to really get some incredible hands-on experiences, in-depth reporting overseen by incredible industry leaders.
As College of Journalism students, we are very grateful for this and excited for all the opportunities this will bring.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly, and we'll see you next week.